Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. We're going to bring ourselves to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Hello everybody. We're just bringing in our friends. Today is Thursday, August 14. It's been a while since we did a live stream. It's been a very busy summer and we wanted to check in. So I'm going to let some of you join in on Facebook, friends. Let's see. I think you're here. There. Whoa. Oh, so many of you. Woo. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me get your comments and everything ready so we can have our conversation. Yes, friends. So today we are in the middle of summer. We're towards the end of summer, and it's been quite a whirlwind. I think our last check-in was after our EDIS, Eritrean Diaspora Innovator Summit. So we wanted to invite you all for a hello. And now as we confirm, good, we're up. And I'm hearing. Okay. There we go. The audio is off. So just bear with me for a second, confirming. Good, we're here. It's a problem. We can't actually check all of it until it goes live. So welcome everybody and hello again. My name is Semhar Araya. For those of you that have been following my work, you know I run the Diaspora Academy, which is a premier advisory services firm and a diaspora leadership institute. And essentially what it is it's a company that's here for anyone who cares about elevating, amplifying, and strengthening diaspora impact. And diaspora impact can look like a lot of things, and it's an experience that is actually much more relatable to many of you than you may realize. And even if you may not self-identify as a member of a diaspora, you are very likely in a position where diaspora impact affects you, touches you, and has opportunities for you. So that's why we created the Diaspora Academy. Also, for those of you that know me, you know that I've always been a mission-driven person, a service and purpose-driven person. And so the way I do my work, my livelihood, the way I move in this world is to try to be of service to others. And the best way that I see my service to others is by helping you discover your power and discover your potential and help you discover your North Star. So TDA is not so much a business as much as it is a place of service. So we work with everyone. We partner with all kinds of people who care about our mission. But part of our work is also building community and building and strengthening our relationships with different people all over the world who care about this work, this issue, this experience that many of you are probably in every day and don't realize it. I need to confirm that you guys are hearing me on Instagram. Hi, everyone. I'm going to leave a note on Instagram. Hi, IG family. So I've asked Instagram folks, Facebook folks, and LinkedIn folks to drop a note where you're based, where you're dialing in from, and where you're watching. So one of the things we wanted to do in our live stream is check in, say hello, tell you what we've been up to, and also share a really, really special announcement. An announcement that I want you to have the first opportunity to hear. And also we'll reach out to you later, but this is really the time that we want to invite you to tell us how you're doing, tell us what you need, and where you've been in your world as a member of a diaspora or as a supporter of diaspora experiences. Also, it's a chance for you to ask any kind of questions you want. So it's an ask me anything in kind of a way. I'm not making this an AMA because we'll go off the rails. I know so many different kinds of questions will come in, but this is also a live stream that's intended to hear how you've been. And anything you want to share, you can even DM me if you don't want to put it in the chat. I may not see the DM right away, but I'll try my best to get back to you. And I'm going to start doing these live streams about every 2 weeks or so. So I like Thursdays, and I like the 1 p.m. time frame, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the time that we're here together now, because so many of you can dial in from different time zones. We have learned that we are reaching communities across different moments of the day, and this is really the space. So for the Diaspora Academy and for me, I think what we always look to at this time of year in August is, the rest of the year is unfolding very, very quickly. I'm based in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, and so my ear is very close to the ground on what's happening nationally and globally, as well as locally where I live. So I know that we're about to enter a season of busyness for everyone. So we wanted to connect with you here and say hello before all of our gears kick off. Some of us are in back to school mode. Some of us are on vacation probably right now, or you're about to go on vacation. And some of us are also preparing for a very busy September. For the people in my line of work, September is one of our most exciting months, busy months, purposeful months. And then October comes, and then it's the holiday season. And I know that time flies for all of us, but it's important that we check in and be aware of where we're at personally and as a community. So this is my invitation for a check-in as well as an announcement. So let me share a couple thoughts. I think we've had, I have worked across many different career paths over the course of my adulthood. And some of you know me from different points of that journey. I was a lawyer. I started out as a lawyer. I worked in public policy for Congress, and then I did policy and advocacy in a lot of the humanitarian and global development world. That's where USAID and NGOs and those that care about global development really exist. And in between there, I consulted on issues relating to the role of diasporas in development. And then I went back into the workforce. I went to UNICEF. I worked in the UN a bit. And then I moved to the tech sector. And I was in the tech sector for about 4 years before starting this work. And I'll tell you, what we're doing right now in the Diaspora Academy is a culmination of that entire journey. And so I'm coming to you with my personal experiences as well as my professional experiences, and trying to create a space that speaks to those of you that live in a diasporic way or that engage with diaspora communities, maybe at a local level, national or global. And I know for a lot of you that are not identifying yourselves as members of diasporas, you may not see this as immediately relevant, but it is. And a lot of our LinkedIn family, for instance, who are watching, continue to discover all the different pathways for partnership and collaboration with diasporas. And that's what we help with. So we have been, since I started this work almost 2 years ago, our second anniversary is coming up in September, and I'm very happy. We officially started the work in December, but I stood my business up and I stood this work up in September of 2023. I think we've had more lessons in the last year and even the last 6 months than ever before. And some of these lessons are really about what it's going to take for all of us who identify with the diaspora experience to really root ourselves and stay connected, and what it's going to require of you personally, with your time, personally, with your mindset, and also with the decisions you make every day. So for me, when I started this company, it was a business intended to provide trainings and support diaspora communities through workshops and really engage with you on how you can organize yourselves better, right? I'm an organizer at heart. But through law and policy and organizing, I can see now that there's a real convergence of different people who care about these issues. And so over time, our work has changed from courses to courses and trainings and other things. And we've begun to work with large institutions, small institutions, entrepreneurs, small businesses, who all see the diasporas as really important parts of their priorities, of their business, of their organization, of their communities. And it's been really wonderful understanding how businesses and organizations are perceiving the diasporas as either an opportunity or an unknown that they want to know. But also it's been really interesting to see how diasporas are responding to those invitations of opportunity. And so we've been in the middle. And so over the last 2 years, a lot of my work has changed and deepened to engaging with communities and with partner organizations. And so being a bridge, we've slowly become sort of a bridge or an entry point for both. And I'm saying this because the trajectory that 2024 put us on last year was really into this partnership space, which is beautiful because it means that the world is starting to understand how important diaspora communities are. And we're here to always amplify that point. And it also meant that diasporas of all backgrounds were becoming more engaged. But 2025, this year, has really forced a lot of us to think more deeply about how we want to navigate these partnerships, these systems, and the moment that we're in, quite frankly, particularly if you're watching this in the United States. And so we've had changes to our work because of the different changes in policies. We have, as a small business, I have definitely been hit. I want you to know that even as you hear me engage and promote and celebrate this work and really continue forging on, we've also been impacted by the policies, by the federal funding cuts. We've been impacted by the massive shifts, and we've learned to pivot and adjust. But we've also, when I say we, I mean me and my team, but for the Diaspora Academy, I've also started to realize another level we're going to need to keep adding to our work is community building. And community building looks like creating spaces where we can have trust, where diasporas can see themselves and really have it's not freedom, but can have the space to just explore. Because I think the pressures and the realities of the world that we're navigating in 2025, especially those of you that identify as having an immigrant background, who identify as having an ancestral homeland that you want to remain connected to, it's going to be especially challenging to ideate and to think of what's possible in your life when so much is changing. Okay? Now, look, if you have coffee with me, if you sit with me, if we talk, if we're friends, we can get into all the nitty-gritty details of like what this all means. And, you know, I'm an optimist at heart, and I'm also very pragmatic. And so I'm here to help you keep moving forward. I'm not into conversation for conversation's sake. I'm really into figuring out how you build programs, how you build services, and how you reach people that, yes, are in need, but are also quite capable. And so I'm saying to you, even in this moment of 2025's continued shifting winds on the environment in the United States, I believe now more than ever, this is the time that we double down on building community. And so you've heard me say that in bits and pieces on my socials. You've heard me underscore the importance of creating the spaces you wish existed. And I think for TDA, our partnerships are continuing to grow and deepen. And so that's always exciting. But the way we're doubling down on community looks like so many things. And that's what you've been seeing in 2025. In 2025, you've been seeing more opportunities to have one-on-ones. So we do coaching, but beyond coaching, like just one-on-ones. I've invited people for one-on-ones, for check-ins. I've created a way for diasporas to reach the Diaspora Academy more directly. But I've also started creating more community-focused programming. So that was what you saw with the Eritrean Diaspora Innovators Summit. You know, the first community I'm always going to serve is a community that I'm from, the community that I'm a part of. It's the Eritrean Diaspora community. More broadly, it extends into the African immigrant, into the diaspora communities. It extends into the African American community. It touches into so many different places the way that I've grown up. But my core is with the Eritrean American community. And what I love about us as Eritreans is, I don't care what country you're in, if you're Eritrean, we're all connected. And I know so many diasporas can relate to that. So that was the summit that we hosted in May, was an example of community work, of creating space for community. And we're going to continue that. But I want you to also realize, like, when community spaces are being created now, it's going to be really important for you to take advantage of those, of any kind. I just mean in your life. I know it's tempting right now to lay low, keep to yourself, keep your head down, focus on your family. But there are spaces that are being created for you to particularly feel safe, seen, and validated, and informed. and informed, because the way the policies are unfolding in this country, in the United States, means that people with an immigrant and diasporic background need to have a higher sense of self-awareness of where they are. Now, the other thing we've been doing is, and I've shared some of this in the newsletters and in some of our announcements, but we've also begun supporting diaspora organizations and diaspora projects. And so one of the announcements we want to share is that the Diaspora Academy has begun an incubator program, and we've begun supporting diaspora organizations that are really at the seed stage of trying to get an idea and taking it off and helping them sort of evolve into a more operational framework. And I'm really excited to announce that our first incubator project is with the Eritrean Archives, the account I think many of you know on Instagram, account that is phenomenal online digital archive, restoring and preserving Eritrea's history in all ways, and unearthing pieces of our information from a digital space. And so if you go to instagram.com/eri.archives, I think that's it. Can someone confirm on IG if that's what it is? I'm going to look for you guys. Hey everyone, I see y'all. How's everyone doing? If you can confirm, Eritrean Archives is an example of a really phenomenal diaspora-led project that is really built out of someone's sheer desire to understand their history and preserve what we can from open source methods and deep research. And what was first a social media account is now a full-fledged digital archive. And I'd like you to visit eritreanarchives.com as an example. Now, we're not taking credit for that work, but what we've been doing is providing support and guidance, and helping them as a diaspora founder figure out how they want to establish Eritrean Archives outside of their social media presence. And so as an incubator, there's a role that we play at the Diaspora Academy in really helping a diaspora entity figure out what its framework is going to be. This incubator program is part of our digital diasporas pillar, and it's really how we focus on the role of diasporas in digital ways and the role of diasporas in advancing development. And so part of development is cultural preservation, cultural heritage, preserving narratives, and part of development from a diaspora lens is decolonizing our narratives. And so that's what Eritrean Archives is all about. I'm very, very excited with that program, with that project. I'm so impressed with the vision behind Eritrean Archives, and support them. Sign on, join their newsletter. You'll get an incredible Substack updates. And these are examples of the ways that we're trying to build community at the TDA. So that takes me to the next level of what community building means right now. Okay, you are probably watching this on your phone, sitting somewhere. Maybe it's playing in the background, you're doing other things. But I firmly believe that you have to consciously choose how to build your community, and you have to be open to what community looks like right now. As much as you know the community that you're a part of, as members of a diaspora community, if you're watching this and you're from a diaspora community, you will actually be quite surprised at how many other members of other diaspora communities you can connect with. And so TDA is always thinking about how do we do peer-to-peer learning between diasporas around their shared experiences. So taking everything that I've said so far, from my mission and purpose in life, the way I view how I want to use my time, talents, and treasures, the journey that I've been on, to the importance of building community, this is where we really are returning to our roots. The Diaspora Academy was built to support diasporas. And the way we do that is by helping you discover your North Star, how you want to use your time, talents, and treasures, how you want to use your time for good from where you are, and how you want to take what is probably a very good idea. All of us have phenomenal ideas as diasporas, but wanting to figure out how to make it reality. And that's a very hard place to be in. And many of us don't have the resources or access to guidance and mentorship. And I just mean just diasporas in general. If you're a first-generation immigrant, as a member of a diaspora, you have been building your life in a new country and trying to make sense of this new ecosystem wherever you are. And if you're a caregiver, if you're also a caregiver in the diaspora, if you're a parent, if you have family to take care of, if you have loved ones to take care of, it's also a process learning how to parent in the diaspora. And I get that. I'm also a parent, and I'm realizing how many of our immigrant families have had to learn so quickly, but also hold on to their histories. We know it, but now in my adulthood, I see how limiting that can be in your ability to explore other things. So first generation immigrants are going through a tremendously transformative journey. Children of immigrants who come at a young age, who leave their homeland at a young age, who arrive in another country at a young age, or who are born abroad like me, you are straddling two cultures, and you are going between two different mindsets, two different sets of expectations, two different sets of norms. And it's very frustrating to grow up in the middle when those two sets might be diametrically opposed to each other. So this particularly hits Black and brown diaspora households, and even Muslim households, conservative households, households that are considered the minority in the diaspora. And so for children of immigrants, if you are watching this and you have children born abroad, please understand how hard it is to be in the middle and straddling both. So knowing that, whatever you sit on that journey, your experience is valid and it's legit. But it means you may not have as many resources and access to resources as multi-generational diasporas. And that brings me to the third group, right? So there's first gens, there's second gens, and then there's multi-gens. For those of you that are diaspora, members of diaspora communities, and either the community is in its multiple generation or you are, there are histories and narratives that you've inherited that have been passed down. So if a diaspora community is here, fourth gen, fifth gen, multi-gen, but they still remain connected to their ancestral homeland, or they become connected to their ancestral homeland, that is a really unique journey. If you are a fifth generation, for instance, fifth generation Arab American who hasn't been to back home because your family's just always been here, but you still have an opportunity to reconnect. You may, depending on what country you're linking yourself to, or countries. Also, for the African diaspora, we are also multi-generational. We are not first and second generation only. The migration of people of African descent goes back to transatlantic slave period, and before that even. I mean, Africans, we've been here around the world, longest history. But the history of migrating and being removed from your homeland or leaving your homeland does go back to as far as the transatlantic slave period. And so even descendants of the forcibly enslaved, of African migrants, are a part of a diasporic journey, if they so choose, right? So this diaspora space is so mixed with different experiences, but you can find yourself in that. I know, and many of us know, that if you identify with anything I just said, it's going to be a challenge for you to learn how to ideate, how to explore, how to define your dream. Some of you might be phenomenal entrepreneurs who just know how to get something started and go and take risks. But a majority of us come from cultures and communities that are risk averse, or who lack resources to allow you to take risks, okay? Because in the diaspora, in the West especially, chasing your dreams is a risk. But it's a risk that this ecosystem has room for. So even if your homeland, you don't do, like, I know some incredible Eritrean American professionals. This one, I won't say names because I haven't planned on saying their names, but an incredible Eritrean American woman. She's a makeup artist, and a makeup artist for celebrities, a makeup artist for the most beautiful models. Like, there are people in industries and professions that we have never heard of. And I don't mean just Eritrean, I mean diasporas. And so that's because that person, for example, was willing to take a risk and was brave enough to take a risk. And examples of people who start things out of nothing are because you're willing to take a risk. And so I want to help you walk you through that journey of taking a risk, taking a calculated risk. Now, I am someone who has started, I have been employed. I'm a lawyer by training. I stopped practicing after about 4 or 5 years after graduating. I have professional experience in public sector and private sector, but I've also started my own businesses, and I've started a nonprofit, and I've volunteered, and I've been on board. So the idea of being entrepreneurial, the idea of starting something from scratch seems pretty daunting for so many diasporas. But what's burning in your head is that question. How can I do this? I just want to give back. I just want to build something for my people. I just want to help the next generation. I just think there's something our community really needs, and I don't know how to get started. That is what I'm talking about. I am interested in helping bridge that gap where there are people with a desire to do good in this world, and a desire to help, and a desire to be in partnership, build, and who can take risks, or who don't know what taking risks is but are open to it. This is where all the might worlds come together. So, in this spirit of building community and leaning into our commitment to community and our commitment to digital diasporas, we are returning to resume. I'm very excited. We are resuming our Diaspora Leadership Program, and that is what I'm so excited to share with you today. Because for 3 weeks, twice a year, I spend time with you, you spend time with me, and a whole cohort, a whole group of people. And we check in every Tuesday for about 3 Tuesdays. And you learn the fundamentals around what it requires you to take a risk, to imagine something big, and to pursue your diaspora dream. And you don't have to be a member of a diaspora to be in this program. And the Diaspora Leadership Program is really taking everything I've just shared around, like your North Star and your desire to make impact, your desire to do something meaningful with your life, if you have a professional journey that you want to pursue, but learning how to take calculated and informed risks and make a more holistic decision for yourself that honors your diasporic journey. And the reason I say that it honors your diasporic journey is because so much of what you are envisioning in giving, doing good in this world, is deeply, deeply linked to your own sense of self and the journey that you undertook, that your ancestors undertook, and that your communities undertook. And a lot of the good that you want to do in this world, professionally, personally, is shaped and informed by your diasporic journey. And no one else is going to really acknowledge that except us. Like, that's what we're here for. You can take these paths that we're discussing and pursue them with another organization or partner or program. But it'll be very hard to incorporate your diasporic perspective, your hyphenated experience. You are going to be sort of boxed into, you're either this or that. And the Diaspora Academy, what we do is we honor your whole experience and journey, and we understand where you are in your diaspora journey, and we help you reach your next step. So, and I've also done at a global level. So if you're watching this and you're wondering if, can she really relate to my diaspora experience because she's not from my region? We have trained over 400 diaspora individuals from 80 different Arab, African, Asian, European, Caribbean, and Latin American countries. Okay? I should really say South American, like Central and South America. So I feel like there is such a universality to the diasporic experience, but there are also nuances in your regional sense of self that we've luckily been able to appreciate and work with. Okay, so my career before all of this put me in such a global space that I have worked with communities from every part of the world, and I'm really grateful for that. But I can truly say that whatever experience you want to bring to the table at the Diaspora Academy that is personal to you will be honored and understood. If not known, because I'm not from the region, it'll definitely be honored and understood and validated. So I want you to know that you have a safe and welcoming and validating place when you come to the Diaspora Academy. And I also want you to know that you are entering a deeply transformative experience when you take the Diaspora Leadership Program. I'll tell you a little bit about the program, and I'm going to show you a couple things, but I'm not going to go in detail because we're going to have some other live streams, okay? So for today, what I want to do, just in the interest of time, is give you some top lines around the Diaspora Leadership Program. and why you're going to walk away so deeply transformed, strengthened, and just feeling clearer about your path because of the way we've built this program. So it's virtual. You don't have to go anywhere. And it's with me. And it's with me and anyone else that's registered in the course. So it's completely private, registration only. And this 3-week course is every Tuesday, October 14, 21, and 28, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So 2 hours I'm asking you. And it's going to have 2 modules. So each session, each time we sit down, we're going through 2 modules. And those modules are kind of foundational, like they're stages. Like you need week 1 to get to week 2. And week 2 is a perfect foundation for week 3. Okay? So I want to show you, if you sit with me for 2 minutes, I'm going to show you the website and the modules so you can look at it directly yourself. Okay? Because I think it helps when you see what the modules are about. And that's what I'm going to share in future live streams. I'm going to walk you through the courses. And again, this is open to anyone and everyone. We've had people who are not members of a particular diaspora or don't identify as diasporas take this course, and it's helped them figure out how they want to move in their job and how they manage programs and partnerships, how they manage strategies, how they manage external engagement. So it's something that applies to you even if you don't identify as a member of a diaspora. But I'm going to now, I'm going to share my screen and just get this. You bear with me, all right, you guys? Cool. So, hi everyone, I'm down at the bottom. This is our website, right? So this is the course website, but I'm only going to fast forward down to the bottom. So go down, go down, go down. I want to show you the modules. All right, so week 1, I'm setting you up for diaspora leadership. And you're going to understand so much about the diaspora journey that you didn't even realize exists in your experience. And you're going to see that your experience, your journey, your physical journey, the narratives you inherited, even if you didn't migrate, if you are a descendant of migrants, how it shapes you. And then once you understand how it shapes you, we're going to talk about your vision. And after we talk about vision, you're going to sit with that for about a week. And then when we meet again on week 2, it's really getting into the nuts and bolts, your mission, your vision, your purpose, and what kind of frameworks you want to consider. And like I said, we're an incubator program as well. We have incubator program. We really do walk diasporas through how you set something up correctly. Like not everything needs to be built the same way. And then week 3, we're getting into how you scale, how you make your idea into reality, and how to prepare yourself for potential risks. Some of these risks are how you navigate your diaspora community and the expectations of your community. For many diaspora visionaries who want to do good in this world, one of the biggest challenges is the feedback and the responses of people in the community, because everyone has their own expectations, and navigating that can feel quite hard. In other cases, it's not as hard as much as it is about how you communicate, how you translate your service, your idea, your business to your community. And then lastly, the importance of storytelling and effective comms, and how you translate your wins, how you transform your wins to long-term impact. Okay? So I'm going to come back to you now because I want to see you. I don't want to share my screen anymore. Hold on. There. Am I back? There it is. Hi, everyone. There. I want you to understand that an invitation like this is because it's a pain point I know we all have and that we don't make time for because so much of life is happening. But in this season where we really need to build community and we really need to focus on where are we with our mindsets, our dreams, our hopes, our fears, our goals, where are we with all that we want out of life and all that we can give back to our community, to the next generation, you have to check in. And checking in is, you do check-ins in other ways. You might go to your place of worship, you might go to your church or your mosque, you might check in with your family, you might check in with your good friends, but I'm talking about checking in here and here. And that requires you to give 3 Tuesdays. This course used to be 6 weeks. I just want to make it really clear. I used to do this as a 6-week course, and we had people join us for 6 weeks. But the reality is, the life and times that we're in, people cannot commit to a 6-week anything right now. And I get that. So for 3 weeks, I want to get to know you, know your story, and you're going to share this with other people. So you're all going to connect. I want to understand your pain, your vision, your fears, and what you want for yourself as a member of a diaspora, right? And you may not even see yourself as a member of a diaspora, but when you take week one, everyone sits back at some point. I swear to God, everyone in our DLP program, in the diaspora leadership program, at some point at week one, everyone goes, "Oh, wow, I never saw myself that way. I never understood." And then all these things start to unlock. All these things start to ease. And I'm telling you, like, look at our testimonials. I have more testimonials. I don't show them all. I want the work to speak for itself, but I want you to be ready to create a space for yourself. And when you do that and you have this journey with me, also if you register for the course and you register for a VIP option, you also get coaching, 2 sessions with me, 2 one-hour sessions. So we also realize, like, sitting in these courses is so deeply transformative, but you may want some one-on-one time with me. So I do that too. And what I've come to learn, we've had three DLPs under the Diaspora Academy. I started this work, however, 10 years ago in 2015 when I was running my previous company, and I can tell you this story at DLP in detail. I used to call it the Diaspora Leadership Training, DLT. I can't get away from diaspora leadership. But DLT in 2015 and DLP in 2025 is a much more evolved version. And I'm telling you, I love getting to know everyone so personally that those relationships from 2015, I still have them today with the cohorts that I had in the past. So you are being a part of a cohort. You're having an opportunity to connect and get feedback on your ideas. And then when you're done with DLP, you are a part of our alumni group and our Diaspora Academy Changemakers community. And so we believe strongly in the power of diaspora changemakers, but you need to see each other. And so you need to be able to connect with each other. And so you'll be a part of a network. We have monthly meetups that we're kicking off again in September. Monthly meetups with all the alumni, with me. I check in. And it's like a private community. It's not something we share publicly. You log in. You can find each other's profiles. So you're also being invited to be a part of a community after DLP. The last thing I'll say is with the course, it's virtual, but you have a deck. It's a deck style, but it's with me. You see me a lot. You're not just staring at slides. And it's a meeting format, and it's recorded. So you can also watch it if this time doesn't work for you. You can attend the sessions later. We've had people register from Europe and West Africa and East Africa. And we've had people, and we've had other courses where people are dialing in from like Indonesia. So time zones are a big part of our work. We understand that. Everything's recorded. You can watch it at your own time. And then you also get materials. You get workbook materials. So I'm going to show you the workbook. All right, this is the physical version. Ta-da, the Diaspora Academy. This is the physical version, but I'm going to show you the kind of materials you get, some of this stuff. This is a full-on workbook, but the stuff you get in TDA is Module 1. Here's your materials. You can download them as a PDF with worksheets that you can fill out at your own pace. So it's really like self-paced if you are not able to join us live, but I love spending time with each of you separately. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, and if you want the coaching, we do the coaching in 2 times. As soon as we start the course, I ask everyone to schedule their session with me so I can get to know you and hear your dreams, and hear your questions, and give you some initial feedback. And then at the end of the course, once you've had a chance to sort of walk through the learnings, we meet again for our second session, and you apply what you've learned. And I think there's oftentimes a big shift. Well, I didn't factor in these considerations. It's making me reconsider how I approach this. I don't want to move too fast. I don't want to overthink it. Like, everyone comes from a different angle, and all we're here to do is strengthen and support you. So that's how we see it. Now, the reason I'm doing this kind of work, the reason I'm offering a course and telling you about this is because this is what people ask me to do all the time. They ask, whatever job I've been in, People ask me for coffees. Can I pick your brain? Can you give me feedback on this? Can we have a one-on-one? And I realized like this isn't effective for me to just hit up one person at a time. And so I have built this entire service because it's what has been asked of me for many years. And so I invite you, if this speaks to you, to consider it. You do, registration is open today. So you can register right now and you can save your seat. And you will also be able to select between general and VIP. Our first course is October 14. So between now and October 14, I can answer any questions you have. I can tell you about your modules. We're going to have a couple more live streams, right? This is really like my celebration announcement. And then from here on out, it's going to be a deeper dive into any particular aspects of the course. And of course, a check-in. Like, I forgot. I'm so sorry. I should have checked the comments. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, hi everyone on IG. Good to see you all. Oh, hello, Semhar. Oh, Hannah. Very nice to hear from you. Hi, Hannah. I would love to connect. This is amazing. I'm so glad you think so, and I'm very happy to hear that. Happy to connect. You can find all of this information at thediasporaacademy.com/DLP. You can also just click on my links in my bio, all my socials. It'll take you to the TDA website, and you'll see registration for DLP. So I want to make this as easy as possible, but I also want you to have some runway. So it's August 14. I'm telling you officially 2 months to the day from the time the class starts. Our schedules are busy. I want you to clear it. I want you to get your Tuesdays ready. I only need 3. I don't need a lot. And October's special. October's special for 2 reasons. First and foremost, we hold Diaspora Leadership Program every February and every October. That is Black History Month in the United States and in the UK, and I think in other countries. So in the United States, February is Black History Month. Very important to me. And in October, it's Black History Month in the UK and in other countries around the world. So I really want to root TDA in the truth of my journey, which is as a member of the African diaspora, as part of Black history. We are creating spaces that we wish existed. So October and February are our moments to really plant our seeds, to celebrate each other. And even if you're not a member of the African diaspora, I do believe that honoring each other's heritage and history months are critical. So we do that at the TDA as well. So October 14, 21, and 28 is all I ask of you. And if you want some coaching, you will get more time with me. But that's it. Drop me any notes if you have questions. Hannah, thank you for that. I'm really happy to see that. And then I'm going to check the other platforms because I've been quite judicious about speaking to all of you here. Okay, and then lastly, oh, hello YouTubers. Oh, hey everybody. So we have friends. So it's great to have all of you. We're going to hold our next live stream. August, everyone travels. So our next live stream will be September 4. And what I'm going to do on September 4 is I'm going to walk you through modules 1 and 2. I'm not going to teach you for sure because that's in the course. But I am going to show you what you're going to get out of week 1 and how we spend. It's 2 hours, but it's 2 hours with material that you take away that I think is just going to like blow your mind, if I say so myself. Because that's what the feedback I keep getting. I'm very honored and very grateful for the feedback. And I've even been able to improve the course based off of feedback. So I totally believe in constructive criticism. I believe in getting feedback, but I also want to have your time and your investment to help make this better. So you can give me feedback today. You can take the course or you can have questions. I look forward to that. On September 4, I'm also going to treat it like an Ask Me Anything, a connection, anything you want. And then the next one, let me get the dates here, September 4, September 18, October 2nd, and October 9. But by that point, it's going to be about all kinds of other things because there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in September. So I wanted to hit you up early, and I want to thank you guys. You know, I think live streams can be really fun, but I also want them to be a check-in for you and I see you, and I want to know how you're doing. And I think we need each other more than ever. So reaching out is really done from a genuine place of love to all of you, regardless of what community you're from. Anyone who is in the middle, who is experiencing a diaspora journey, or who feels like their hyphenated life is kind of all over the place, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you. And then for those of you that are raising kids in the diaspora, raising families in diaspora, you have a huge responsibility here to validate and recognize what your children are going through. And that may not seem fair to hear because your journey is so intense and important, but something about being in the middle is very precarious. It's very fragile. And if you are black or brown raising a child in the diaspora, or you have teenage kids, or you have high school kids, or you have adult kids, you have to know that they are navigating some real invisible barriers that you may not have experienced back home, but it is a much bigger challenge to navigate when you're in the diaspora. So I want you to give some grace to your second generation children. And if you're second generation and you're watching this, I want you to do the work you need to do to really rise to the occasion of how powerful you are. I don't want you to get stuck and overwhelmed by what's hard. I want you to understand that you have blessings from both sides. You have power from both sides. And you are completely valid to be both. If anyone says you have to choose, that's actually not true. But your job is to work on identifying your mission, your purpose, and what you want to create in this world, what you want to offer this world. And giving grace not only to your first gens, but giving grace to the communities that you're a part of, right? I'm saying that because we're living on the scroll life pretty intense, and we're forgetting some of that grace that needs to go to each other. Don't get me started on that point. You guys know I made a TikTok about this yesterday, and it's still in my head, like how we've been losing our relationship with each other because of tech. I work in tech, or I did, so I know I get enough about tech. But I want you to remember the power of your human empathy and your heart, and the power of honoring the journeys of the people before us, what they had to go through for you to get here. So the Diaspora Academy is a space for you. If you identify with what I just said, and if you're a multi-generational who hasn't been able to connect, who doesn't know your roots, this is your space too, because that's part of the diasporic journey. You know, your kids will have kids, and they'll have kids. And the question is, how do you connect, or how do you remain connected? How do you give back? How do you know where you're from? Where am I from? Am I from here? Am I from there? You're from everywhere. You're from all of it. Whatever you discover and hold on to is yours. So I want to thank you all for your time, and I want to thank you for watching. And very excited to announce this, that October 14, the Diaspora Leadership Program is official. It starts, so register today. It's thediasporaacademy.com/DLP. And if you have any questions, you can just email us or DM me. But I thank you guys for your time, and I can't wait to see you. See you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.